An original story written and granted permission to narrate by you/CnRhin. Oraxium Captain Nikto Rakzes POV. Those traitors think they can hide from us in the old home system of the Elyrian? I'll show them what happens when they cross Captain Nikto Rakzes. Nobody pulls one over on me and gets away with it. I mean, how did I honestly believe that they were courier runners? Yes, they had the necessary paperwork, so I had to go by the books and let them go. But once they strayed from their route, their fate was sealed. These three shall rue the day they thought they could escape the great Nikto Rakzes. Crew of the Scav POV. No weapons. That's fine, we can still manage. Little one, I never got your name, by the way. Asked Tic-Tac from the speakers all around the room. My name is Lizra. Captain Lizra Rightness III to be exact. Adorable, okay, Captain Lizra. How sure are you that these ones incoming are hostile? I'm fairly certain. I just didn't think that they would be so suspicious of us as to follow us here. Well, we did lie to them and pretend to be galactic couriers. And that dumbass bought every word of it too, chuckled Argal. Argal, language. We are Tic-Tac's esteemed guests here. No worries, little one. That's okay. I think I have a plan that may get us all out of here. I can completely stabilize the atmosphere within the facility, and then when they enter, I will be able to jettison them from the airlocks. Do you think that might buy us enough time to get to your vessel? We're not going to fight them ourselves. The whole reason I was sent with you was to carry this weapon back. I was hoping to get to use it at least. But now I can't even do that since the weapon is a fucking guy, complained Argal, annoyed that there still hadn't been a confrontation that required his expertise. Don't worry, CnRhin. If they manage to stick around after we show them the door, we may have use for you yet. And your name is? Argal, he grumbled, still disappointed there was no ancient weapon of destruction he could wield, like some god of war. Argal what? Questioned Tic-Tac, confused. Just Argal. Appropriate. They should be arriving any second now. I am going to go ahead and remove the atmosphere from this room so that we do not have to worry about pressure equalization when we make our move. Z8, do you have any way to remotely pilot your ship from here? We do not even need to inquire as to how you know our name, but please call us Zate from this point forward. Yes, we have the ability to control the ship remotely. What do you have in mind, program? I can see from the security feeds they are going to station their ship near yours. I will forward you the location of where to move your ship once I eject the intruders. I am going to illuminate the path to another exit for you to move to. Once there, I'll pressurize the door, open the airlock, and throw you into space. You're going to do what with us? I do not consent to being blasted into the cosmos, Mr. Tic-Tac, replied Lizra, clutching onto Argal even tighter. Captain, the claws. Yes, my apologies, Argal. Do not worry. If Zate gets the ship in position, you will be propelled right into the loading bay of your vessel. When I was connected to Zate, I was able to view the schematic of your ship. I will send her a visual representation of how to orient it to properly receive you, Tic-Tac replied matter-of-factly. Not necessary. We can visualize that without your aid, computer. While the plan was being created, the human sat silently watching them. Throughout the entire conversation, he hadn't taken his eyes off of the small Elyrian captain in the room. His masked helmet gave away no signs as to how he felt towards the plan or other occupants in the room. Lizra hopped down from atop Argal and made her way over to Human, looking up at him. When standing on her hind legs, she barely came up to his knees. Mr. Human, do you have anything to add to the plan? No. Will you defend us if it comes to that? Yeah, sure, and I'm sorry. Sorry, for what exactly? Just that. As Lizra and Human were locked in their engrossing dialogue, a loud bang echoed throughout the facility, shaking the walls of the research room. The trio jumped into action and gathered around the exit door as Human walked over to the small black box, looking down at it. Just let me know when, Tic-Tac. Disconnect me only when they get to safety. Any earlier and I will not have access to the facility. You aren't coming with us? Asked Lizra, looking down at the little black computer. We will be following shortly. I have to ensure your safe exit. We also have a few more items to grab before we make our leave. A second later, an explosion was heard down the hall, followed by a booming voice that echoed throughout the base. This is Araxium Captain Nikto Rakzes of the Prowler. You are in violation of Core Federal Code 13-7451, impersonating a galactic courier and attempting to flee from federal authorities. Cooperate, and you will be handled respectfully. If you refuse to do so, then you shall face severe repercussions, such as a fine upwards of 10,000 credits. That will be all. He seems to be in a better mood today, Lizra chuckled. Oh, we'll see if he's still threatening us with a fine when I threaten him with his own spine, Argal grunted, putting his fists together. Okay, Zate, get the ship moving. I'm opening the airlocks now. Good luck. Everyone, see you soon. When Tic-Tac finished his farewell, the sounds of air rushing out of the facility sounded from the other side of the door. It opened up moments later, and the three rushed out into the hall. They followed the blinking lights that guided them through the corridors. Upon reaching the exit, they made their way into the small airlock, and the door sealed behind them. 7 seconds, and we will have the ship in position. We hope Tic-Tac does not send us out too early. Zate was cut off as the opposite door opened and plunged the trio untethered out into the stars. Outside, they could see countless others flailing around in the vacuum of space, having also been unexpectedly jettisoned from the base. Lizra locked her eyes onto the ship and saw it on an interception course with them. Their trajectory was impeccable, sending them right into the open loading bay. Argal grabbed the small captain and wrapped his bulk around her to shield her from the impact. The three were thrown into the ship with the blast doors slamming shut behind them. Wait, what about Human and Tic-Tac? Lizra asked, squirming free of Argal's grip. We have established comms with Tic-Tac again. He says, not to worry and to prepare for departure, Zate said, picking themselves up off the floor. Right. Let's get out of here before those core clowns get their bearings again. What? No, thank you, Argal, for saving me. No. Oh, Argal, are you hurt from taking that fall for me? You're expected to save your captain, Argal. We need to focus on saving Human and Tic-Tac right now. No problem. You're welcome, Captain. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Once back in the command room of the Scav, they surveyed the situation. The majority of the Prowler's crew was still floating around aimlessly outside. The Prowler itself had started moving away from the landing pads, bearing down on the Scav. Captain, weapons lock detected. They are directing us to stand down and not to flee. Or what? We get another fine? We believe they might not tell us again. As the two ships faced off, Lizra was debating whether to give the order to make a slipspace jump or to surrender. Before she could make up her mind, she saw the form of Human launching himself from the facility below. He was not headed for the Scav, but instead towards the Prowler. Quick, Zate, tell him that's not our ship. That's the ones that came here to attack us. We believe he knows that. Then what is he doing? Is he betraying us? And here I thought he was just warming up to me. Human was silhouetted against the bright red hull of the Prowler as he made contact with it and latched on. He launched himself from the side of the ship, making a beeline for the front. Once there, he dug his hands into the metal walls, climbing towards the windows of the Prowler's bridge. Human stared into the bridge of the Prowler, before raising an arm and shattering the glass of the viewport and throwing himself inside. A few stray plasma shots could be seen exiting the bridge before the ship's metal shutters slammed shut in an attempt to stop the atmosphere from escaping. Remind me to ask Human to show me how to punch like that. Captain, weapons are no longer locked. Should we start a slipspace jump? Yes, go for slipspace. Seatbelts, everyone. Zate, open the cargo bay again. A minute later, the metal shutters were torn open from the inside, and Human jumped from the ruins of the Prowler's bridge towards the Scav. The Scav moved closer to intercept, and Zate oriented the ship to receive him in the open bay. Once Human was safely aboard, the cargo bay was closed, and Zate initiated the slipspace jump. Once away from danger, the crew gave a sigh of relief. Lizra unbuckled herself from her pedestal and surveyed the monitors. Well, I'd like to see them give us that fine now. Great work, everyone. And Argal? Thank you for shielding me earlier. It looked like it hurt. Of course, Captain. You're welcome. And I'm fine, thank you. Oh, come now. I was being genuine. I appreciate your initiative to keep me safe. I'll put you in for some sort of medal when we return. Nah, I don't need a medal. I just want to actually do my job when it doesn't involve moving around cargo. Well then, shall we go greet Human and Tic-Tac then? I believe a thanks is in order. We will stay here and notify you when we are clear of the system. Ensure Tic-Tac will not meddle with our systems again, or he might find himself being the one jettisoned from an airlock. Duly noted, Zate. Keep us on course and notify me of any updates. Lizra and Argal shed their environmental suits and made their way down into the cargo bay to see if Human was okay. When they arrived, there was a dent in the far wall, presumably from when they made the jump, and Human wasn't properly fastened in. He was wearing the small black box from the computer room on his back, and unlike before, had a strange-looking rifle in his hand. Ah, that's new. It's a good look for you two. We're not in space anymore, so you don't have to wear your suit around here when we're in transit. I'm fine. Thanks. Human replied curtly. Tic-Tac's voice echoed from the black box attached to Human's back. Unfortunately, he has no way of removing the suit here either way. We would have to construct the proper machines to remove it, as I do not believe they are present in this galaxy, Tic-Tac said, searching for the proper word. But he hasn't been out of it in a very long time. I assure you it's not a burden to him. Right. Well, thank you for saving us back there. So, did you, kill them all? No. We merely disabled their systems on the bridge. They're going to be stuck there for quite a while until someone can give them a ride. We have decided to accompany you to the nearest port, where we can acquire our own ship, and then we shall be on our way. Tic-Tac responded. Wait. We went through all the trouble of getting you out of there, helped you bring Human back, and now you want to leave us already? We have no desire to get involved in another conflict, after having it be our sole purpose for as long as we can remember. I hope you can understand why we wish to make our own choices now. Okay, hold on. We helped you get off the base and helped you wake up Human. So maybe you could at least come with us back home and hear us out. From someone a little more charismatic than myself. Very well. How long until we arrive? Maybe a week? Terrific. Well, maybe we can pass the time by telling me how you came to learn of us. And more about who you're fighting. I only speak for myself, saying I would love to know more. It really has been a long time since I've had a good conversation with someone that's not a part of myself. Of course, here let me show you to the common room. You two can stay there until we make a stop. Lizra led them to a large room in the center of the ship, adorned with various different chairs for the different species on board. She took the seat that was present for her, a round flatbed where she was able to curl up and use her long tail as a pillow. Human took off the black box that was Tic-Tac and dropped it onto the table in the middle. Enjoy, he spoke before leaving the room. Argal followed closely behind Human, and Lizra only picked up the beginning of his sentence, asking about how he was able to break into the ship like that. Is he always this charming? He isn't the nicest. You don't have to sidestep it. We have been through a lot. I'd like to tell you more, but I do not want to make him any angrier with me than he already is. He's been through more than I could possibly begin to explain. Well, I hope he ends up doing better. Maybe we can find a beach for him when we make a stop. I remember him mentioning that. I'm sure he would appreciate that. You know, I have been thinking about something rather peculiar he said to me when we were in your computer room. And what might that be? He apologized to me, but he hadn't done anything that warranted an apology at the time. Tic-Tac was silent for a moment before speaking. He has been trapped in his own head for quite some time. I would not dwell on anything strange, he says. 909 is a man of few words and does not come from a world that places social interactions in their list of their priorities. Lizra was quiet for a moment, feeling as if there was more Tic-Tac had wanted to say but decided not to. Before she could press further, the black box spoke again. So, who is this core you mentioned back there? Oh my, where to begin with that one? I guess my own species' story would be a good place to start. About 1,000 years ago, we were nearly brought to complete extinction.